morning. It is cold as hell in here. How many people agree with that? How about a short speech? These are 5-minute speeches. Only the United States Senate would this be 5 minutes. How about a round of applause for Chad and his whole organization? 600,000 people came out to vote in our primary record, and it speaks well of our party. Bobby, thanks for serving. Bobby Harrell and the members of the State House, thank you very much. I spent 2 years in the South Carolina House of Representatives. I got my first paycheck and said, I got to get out of here. $10,400 for the whole year. 3 days a week, forget that. It's 7 days a week, and it's not 6 months a year. The citizen legislature is the heart and soul of our state. To our state senators, to our members of the House, thank you very much for doing what you do. Thank you very much. Bobby and our state Senate leaders, Glenn in particular, and Senator Leatherman, had a package to get Bowen to come to South Carolina. Everybody wanted Bowen. Do you agree with that? Every state in the nation wanted Bowen. Bowen, thank you for picking us. They held the legislature in session. They said, we'll talk to you later about why. And they passed the package for Bowen in about 15 minutes. That is good governance. Thank you, Bobby. Now, to our delegation, our congressional delegation. Let's start with Joe Wilson. Joe's, I think he was here a minute, is his wife here. How about a round of applause for the real power?
That's his wife telling Jake Mops off. I'll go for that.
You want to talk about the election law, you can go talk about Roxanne, I'm not. The Wilson family had 4 boys, all of them in the military. Joe Wilson is the chairman of the House Personnel Subcommittee and the Armed Services Committee. There is no better friend of the men and women in the military than Joe Wilson. Thank you very, very much. Anybody from the 3rd District? You know where the 3rd District's at. I'll tell you. For 10 counties, I used to represent the district. Jeff Duncan is doing one heck of a job. Jeff is solid as a rock, physically and socially. He did himself. There was an amendment on the floor of the House last week reaffirming our commitment to the State of Israel. Don't you believe we need to stand behind the State of Israel? They're under siege. These radical Islamists want to destroy us and Israel. Our fates are tied together. So Jeff gets on the floor of the House, his son's up in the gallery, and he turns to his son, who's a teenager, and says, the reason I want to take the floor and speak about this amendment is I want my son and his generation to know how important it is for the United States and Israel to be together, and this nation will never abandon Israel. God bless you, Jeff. We got that right. Trey Gowdy, anybody from Greenville, Spartanburg Union? When it comes to Fast and Furious.
Yes.
This guy is awesome. Trey Gowdy is one of the best, most effective cross-examiners in the entire United States Congress. He is Eric Holder's worst nightmare. And if we get the White House, Trey Gowdy should be on the Supreme Court. Now, our good friend Mick Mulvaney from Pete John's Crack. Remember cut, cap, and balance? Remember the debt ceiling debate? Well, we're going to have it again. Remember we said as Republicans, at least some of us, we're not going to raise the debt ceiling until we cut the government, we cap spending, and we have a constitutional amendment to balance the budget. Mick Mulvaney led that effort in the House of Representatives. Way to go, Mick. Tim Scott, you heard Tim Scott? Future rising star of the Republican Party, a Republican leadership member from the Republican freshman class, one of the most articulate conservatives in the whole country. To the people in Charleston and to the 1st Congressional District, you did the state a great service by electing Tim, and we're going to keep him there. You heard of Jim DeMille? You heard of Jim? Hey, one person in the country that's been a stronger voice for conservatism than Jim DeMint. Jim, we appreciate you. Marco's coming, Jim's going to introduce him. I've just described to you what I think is one of the most effective congressional delegations in the entire nation. And it's a result of you. Now, little old me, I'm there too. Here's what I want to do. Number one, I want to take care of the home front. We're talking about the Constitution, that's great. We're talking about Washington. God knows we need to do more than talking, but we can't forget our own backyard. If we don't deepen the Port of Charleston, our economy will stall and die. We're going to deepen that port. We're going to deepen the the Jasper Port. We need one there, in case you're wondering. We're going to get it too. And to our good friends in Georgetown, we haven't forgotten about your port. In the Constitution, it says the federal government will be in charge of navigable waters and ports, and we're going to have the most modern ports, and we're not going to give the whole economy over to the Chinese. We're going to fight back, and it's going to start here in South Carolina. Anybody from Horry County? How about a new I-73? Anybody been to Myrtle Beach lately? You have to start on Sunday and hope you can get there by Monday. We need more roads. The Grand Strand, the I-73 corridor, we need to create jobs. We need to widen that road and run it all the way to Michigan and get our Yankee friends to come down here and spend money, right? Now, when I look at the Constitution, the first thing I see is an obligation to defend the nation. The number one responsibility of the federal government above all else is to defend this nation. And you know who defends this nation? Not cable TV talk show hosts. Not politicians, but men and women in uniform. And I want to tell you this, as long as I'm concerned, their needs and their welfare will be my primary reason for living. Now, the Constitution is a great document, but there's a hole in it a mile wide. We need a balanced budget amendment of the Constitution. Ladies and gentlemen, Washington is broken. Jim DeMint and Lindsey Graham are going to go all over this country in 2012 and challenge every member running for office, holding office, to support a balanced budget amendment to the Constitution, so we will stop spending less of your money and balance the budget, just like we do here in Washington. There's a constitutional amendment in South Carolina that says you can't leave town, you get the budget balanced. God knows we need one in Washington, D.C. Let's make it our cause in 2012. The good news for you, I'm about over. There's a third challenge we face. It's called radical Islam. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, because you won't shut up about it.
There are no capitals to conquer like there was in Germany and Japan. There are no Air Force to shoot down. There's no Navy to send. We're in a struggle against a radical ideology that would kill everybody in this room if they could. We got any Presbyterians here? All right, we were predestined to be here. We got any Baptists?
Yeah.
More Baptists than there are people in South Carolina. Got any Methodists? That's a Baptist that can read. Got any Catholics? God bless you. You know, we take our religious differences and take it out on each other on the church softball fields. But there are people in this world, if they could, would impose their way of life on us. And the only way we're going to stop them is to fight back. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, radical Islam is just not over there. It is in our own backyard. There are clerics in this country, the radical mosque in the United States, that preach jihad every day. There is a growing movement in our own backyard, according to the FBI director, to radicalize young Muslims to turn on us. Here's the one thing I can promise you. I've been a military warrior for 30 years. I believe in due process. I believe in the rule of law. But ladies and gentlemen, since 9/11, I believe we've been at war. And we need to understand the difference between war and a guy that God can restore. For 2 years, I did everything I could to make sure that Khalid Sheikh Mohammed never went to New York City to be tried. He is now in Guantanamo Bay being tried for our military. That's exactly where he should be, and we're going to keep him there. And some of you have been concerned about American citizens being held. I understand exactly what you're concerned about. Here's what I promise you. That if our FBI and our CIA stumble upon an American citizen who's been radicalized and they believe is trying to help Al-Qaeda kill us all, that person will be put before a federal judge quickly, and the government will have to prove that they're a member of Al-Qaeda involved in planning attacks against us. That will be required of the government. But if the judge agrees with the FBI and the CIA that this person is in fact joined up with Al-Qaeda kill us all, we should hold them, and they should never hear the phrase, "You got the right to remain silent." So, I believe that this nation's best days are ahead of us if we make some adjustments quickly. I believe if we have 4 more years of the Obama administration, there'll be a hole so deep your kids are not going to get out of it. I believe that what's going on in Europe is going to come here. And the only way we can possibly keep this country a prosperous, free, independent, safe place to start a business, raise a family, and disagree with each other is to make the hard decisions that should have been made a long time ago. And I don't see Obama being willing to do anything hard other than trying to destroy Romney. So my hope is that we will realize that 2012 is the last chance in our lifetime to make these changes. If we lose 4 more years of appointing judges, picking bureaucrats, and making policy. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our election to lose. President Obama has been a miserable failure when it comes to changing the economy. He has been weak, in my view, in standing up to radical Islam. I'll give him credit for the drone attacks, but he's thrown our friends in Israel under the bus. The Iranians are trying to get a nuclear weapon as I speak, and if they ever achieve that goal, the world is going to be turned upside down. We need a new president, we need new policies, and we need to do it quickly. So let's make a pledge among ourselves. Let's make a pledge today that South Carolina is not in the Obama camp. Do you agree with me? North Carolina, Florida, and Virginia are close by. There are 9 states that will decide this election. If you've got friends in the swing states, call them. If you've got a chance to leave your family and your business for a few days, go to these states and get on the phone and make sure we win in places we need to capture the White House. My hope and prayer is that the Republican Party will take the opportunity presented to itself in 2012 and make Barack Obama a one-term president. God bless you.